Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matax Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Clear skies tonight, and that is setting up for another cold morning for tomorrow as temperatures once again fell, especially in areas where we had some of that snow yesterday. I mean, it's 13 in Effingham, 14 in Springfield, and 17 degrees in Champaign. Now, no precipitation out there. As a matter of fact, you may have seen that big, bright full moon in the sky. Gorgeous out there this evening. Tomorrow, we actually see the big, bright, gorgeous sun returning with highs in the mid-30s. But the weekend gets messy. Rain, snow, and we talk snowfall amounts. Coming up, WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
It was the right place at the right time. How a teenager saved a baby's life. Plus, a state trooper admitted guilt in causing a woman's death. Why her family and friends are not satisfied with the court.
And big events haven't been sanctioned in Illinois in the last year. How that's impacting bridal stores.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
He was thinking of me and all that, and the baby, it was like a good response. The baby was, smiling at me, and that kind of made me feel good.
Have a conversation.
A teenage boy is being called a hero after saving the life of a baby. Good evening. I'm Paul Chikine.
And I'm Jessica Coons. The 16-year-old Sullivan High School student jumped into action on Friday night. WCIA 3's Bryce Beeman caught up with the hero. Bryce, this is an incredible story. Walk us through what happened.
Well, he was in a restaurant full of adults. A teenager stepped up to help a choking baby. Chase Eller told me he was nervous, but his adrenaline took over and he knew what to do.
I didn't really think this would ever happen to me, but it did. And
what started as a normal Friday night for 16-year-old Chase Eller changed drastically. Eller was at dinner with his girlfriend in Decatur when a baby started choking.
The baby was coughing and choking, and, obviously I knew the baby was having trouble breathing.
He saw the mom panicking and incorrectly trying to help the choking baby, so Eller sprung into action.
My job was to help this baby and try to potentially save the baby's life.
He performed the Heimlich maneuver and saved the baby's life.
With Coach Bales' class, my health teacher, I knew what not to do.
Coach Scott Bale has been teaching CPR training at Sullivan High School since 2015. He says it's fulfilling knowing his students were listening.
I was choked up. I mean, I really was. It was one of those deals where I just found out this morning.
Eller says his adrenaline was pumping, but he knew what to do during a crisis because he had seen it firsthand.
I didn't really think. I just responded, and I felt like that was what my dad would do, or what first responders would do.
Eller says he's learned how to respond to emergencies by watching his dad, who is a police officer. His parents were shocked when they found out, but not surprised by their son's heroic act.
We were really, really proud of him that night. Very proud. My husband and I couldn't believe that he had stepped in, especially since he had said there were adults in the restaurant.
Eller hopes that more people become CPR certified. He says it's a matter of when it will happen to you, not if.
This really is something you need to learn, and it's something you're going to use.
Eller was very humble and didn't tell many people. When his school got wind, his principal called him down to thank him. Back to you.
And I'm sure that family is so grateful to him for being there that night.
Oh, definitely. They said they were crying and everything.
All right, Bryce, thank you so much. So here's some good information for you. If you see a baby choking, you should first ask for permission to help. Rest your forearm on your leg and put the child face down, and use the bottom part of your hand to gently hit the infant on the back 5 times to hopefully dislodge anything that's stuck. If the baby is still unresponsive at that point, that is when you should start CPR.
Springfield police say a teenager surrendered this week in connection with a shooting on Christmas Eve. Antoine Kennedy's facing aggravated battery charges and unlawful use of a weapon by a gang member. He's accused of shooting a woman in the leg in a Walmart parking lot. 2 men from Vermilion County are facing charges involving kids. 27-year-old Dalton Burmeister from Hoopston is accused of exploiting children under 6 in sexual activity and trafficking images of child pornography. 66-year-old David Moreland from Danville served time for sexually abusing a 5-year-old. He was charged with not registering his new address. It's required as a sex offender.
A former state trooper is facing jail time for his role in a deadly crash. Jeffrey Denning pleaded guilty to reckless conduct today. An earlier charge of reckless homicide had been dismissed. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer joins us live in the newsroom. Jared, you spoke with the victim's family today. How are they feeling about all of this?
Jessica, I spoke over the phone with friends and family, and collectively, they felt shorted by the justice system. They feel as though there should have been more done to hold Denning accountable. In 2016, Jeffrey Denning was responding to a call. An officer in Mahomet was shot, although Denning was in Decatur at the time of the call. He drove over 100 miles per hour trying to get from Decatur to Mahomet, and even went 70 over the speed limit when his squad car hit Kelly Wilson, killing her instantly. Denning drove without his lights or police sirens when he crashed into Wilson. Kelly's father, Leo Wilson, tells WCIA, through the last 5 years, he never thought he'd be so disappointed with the justice system. He says if roles were reversed, he and any other citizen would be facing years of jail time. He says he has no hard feelings towards the officer, but wished he was given a more appropriate sentence. Karen Mason, whose daughter was close friends with Kelly growing up, says it's hard to justify driving that fast in any circumstance.
That's totally careless. Totally careless. I mean, I don't care if you were on a call. I don't care what the call situation was. That's a horrible intersection to begin with.
Denning will receive his sentence in late March. It's a Class A misdemeanor, which means he'll face a maximum of 364 days of jail time and or a $2,500 fine. I've also reached out to Denning's defense attorney. However, he has not yet given comment about the case at the moment. In the newsroom, I'm Jared Farmer, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jared, thank you. If Denning was convicted on his original charges, he could have looked at a total of 3 to 6 years on top of that fine.
A member of the Champaign Police Department is retiring after 28 years. The last day for Deputy Chief Todd Myers is tomorrow. He's held several positions in the department over the years, including Patrol Sergeant, Lieutenant, Hostage Negotiations Unit Team Leader, and Deputy Chief of Administrations, as well as Operations. Here's a follow-up from Decatur. The school district bus provider, Alltown, was surprised to hear in-person learning had been delayed because of them. We told you earlier this month, Decatur delayed a return to the classroom. They blamed it on a limited number of bus drivers. Through records obtained by WCIA, Alltown officials say they had enough people to run routes. District leaders say they were told otherwise. Since then, the district again pushed back in-person learning. Students won't return until after spring break. Leaders say this is the safest option.
A shooting earlier this week left one man dead. How his community honored his memory tonight.
Plus, the governor is promising more help to get the vaccine to more people. The state plans to do it.
And COVID has kept Illini opponents off the court, but that ends tomorrow, and it's the biggest matchup all season.